I've reviewed more resumes than I can count. And the ones that constantly rise to the top, the ones that actually get people interviews, they all have the same things in common. My name is Kim. I'm a big tech recruiter and career advancement expert. I help job seekers like you land higher paying jobs without stress or confusion. Today, I am giving you the 5 cardinal rules of top tier resumes from a recruiter's perspective. Not tips, not suggestions. These are rules, the non negotiables that will separate your resume so that it gets noticed from the ones that don't. Rule number 1, treat it like a sales document, not a diary. So instead of selling shoes or HVAC services, you are selling your skills, your professional experience, your education, and your accomplishments to an employer. So, what that means is you need to change the way that you write your resume. Every word on the page needs to be working to convince the reader that hiring you is a smart business decision, that you've solved their problems and can deliver results. Writing from that mindset will change your resume completely. And those are the folks that consistently are called in for interviews. Rule number 2, the best predictor of future performance is past performance. Now, we can't actually go back in time to watch someone do their job, but the next best thing is to look at what someone's already accomplished. A relevant accomplishment section is your ticket. That is going to be at the top of your resume, and it will showcase the wins from your previous experience that are relevant to the types of problems that you will be solving for this potential new employer. Once again, you are selling your ability to solve their problems through your skills, through your education, through your experience. And you do that by showcasing your previous accomplishments and results. It's far more valuable than just a generic summary section or worse, an objective statement. So, by the way, if you have an objective statement, remove it. It's not helping you. And top tier candidates do not need to state the objective of why they're applying. Instead, make sure that your resume connects directly the work that you'd be doing with the work that you've done in your past experience. You don't need to list every single win from your career, but you want to make sure that you highlight the ones that show that you are the one to solve that employer's problems. This is where your resume does its most important work. Rule number 3, numbers tell the story that words can't. Words like large team or significant impact really mean nothing to someone who wasn't there. But phrasing like a team of 35 or an increase of sales of 83%, now that's a story that a recruiter can picture. Data gives someone who was not in the room the real understanding of the scale and the impact of your work. More and more businesses operate with a quantitative mindset. If you cannot speak to numbers on your resume and throughout the interview process for that matter, it does raise questions about whether you are able to justify numbers once you're in that role. In many organizations, that ability is essential to success. That ability to communicate the return on investment of your activities is important. Okay, Kim, what if I don't have exact numbers? Or what if my role wasn't super metrics driven? Well, that's okay. Give us some estimations or approximations if you can. Rule number 4, understand where you sit in the market. Now, I know that this one's probably going to hurt a little bit, but it's very unlikely that someone has read every single word of your resume, at least not on the first glance. There's a lot of research out there that supports the F pattern review of a resume. I don't know how true that is, but I do believe that people read a resume like they read any document. And in Western culture, we start at the top left-hand corner. So seems to me that that's where people would start in reading a resume too. Top tier candidates understand their resume needs to be easy to read. It has clear sections, consistent formatting, white space on both sides, enough so that the eye can easily move and read. It's not cumbersome. I don't have to strain my eyes to read it. Not because I demand eye comfort from my candidates, but because it's easier for you to communicate the most important things that you want me to understand when it's easy to read. Allow someone's eyes to read through a resume document with relative ease so that your story is the focus point. Rule number 5, this is like a first date, so show up accordingly. The job search process is very similar to dating. The resume, the application, the interview, it feels a lot like those first few dates with someone new. You're excited, you're nervous, but you don't really know much about the person. If that person asked you on a date and they showed up late and they were chewing gum and they were on their phone and they were rude to the wait staff, would you want to go on a second date with them? That's supposed to be them on their best behavior. Your resume is similar. This is your first impression. Now, it's not your whole story, right? Because, like the dating example, you're going to go on multiple dates and learn more and more about the person to test out compatibility. But it is your first impression. That's why you buy a new outfit or you get your hair cut when you go on a date. Same thing goes for your resume. Your resume may be just a Word doc or a PDF, but if you're careless with it, it shows. I'm not saying that your resume needs to be perfect. I don't want anyone watching this video to get stuck in analysis paralysis. Nobody is perfect. So throw the aspiration for perfection out the window. You will never get there. Humans are not perfect. But the basics, like proper spelling and grammar, consistent formatting, those types of things are very, very, very important in making a first impression with your resume. You don't have to worry about fancy fonts or formats, but those things, those basic core items, are a non-negotiable if you want a top tier resume in this market today. So, as basic as it sounds, have someone else read your resume and give you a little bit of feedback or catch any typos before you submit it. So, the 5 rules. Let's recap, shall we? Rule number 1, your resume is a marketing document. You are a brand of one and are selling value. 2, lead with relevant accomplishments. Past performance is the best indicator of future performance. 3, use data. Numbers can tell a story where words cannot. 4, make it easy to read quickly and format accordingly. And 5, clean, no typos. This is your first date. So show up like it. If you follow these rules, I assure you, you will have a stronger resume than most of the other applicants for that job. I assure you, as someone who looks at resumes all day, every day, these are the rules you cannot skip. Be sure to save this video to revisit it when it's time to update your resume, and give my account a follow. I would love to see you here next time. I post about resumes, interviews, job search advice, and I'd love to see you again. Thanks for stopping by. Happy job hunting. Bye-bye.